Facebook, first of all, it's been in the news recently in the last few days that Facebook is thinking about reaching out perhaps to consumers less than 13 years of age. What do you make of that at the FTC? Is that something that would merit your attention?
It's something that the Commission is following and aware of. I don't know that Facebook has made a decision yet. I think they will do that. I know that if they do decide to change their policies in some ways, they will follow what's known as the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. And so, yes, we are watching that, and we have had a lot of interaction on both the policy and enforcement front with Facebook.
You've had a consent order with Facebook. You've also had one with Google, also on dealing with a privacy issue. What's your level of confidence right now that the industry gets the message and is doing everything it can in the area of online privacy, which right now there are a lot of Americans out there growing more and more concerned about it?
Well, I think Americans have the right to be concerned. After all, companies collect enormous amounts of data on us, on all of us. Some of that's actually good. It allows us to have more targeted advertising, but you have to have data security, and I think consumers have a right to wonder and consumers have a right to sort of have some choice and control over their data. I do think that out in Silicon Valley in the technology industry, most companies are committed to protecting privacy, and we encourage them to do more of that.
I know you've got an active investigation with Google. Can only tell us so much about that. But can you share with us at least a sense of where the investigation stands and when we might see a conclusion?
No company that's being investigated by the FTC deserves a particular answer, but everyone deserves a speedy investigation. And so we are in the middle of an investigation by Google. We're very collaborative and bipartisan. We're collecting information and asking questions now, and hopefully in the not-too-distant future we'll resolve our position. But we're doing our job, which is to investigate allegations of anti-competitive behavior.
The EU is also looking at Google as well. Does their investigation in any way affect what you all are doing here in the U.S.?
We certainly work a lot on a variety of fronts and matters with the European Union, but we are separate, and our investigation is separate from theirs. And so we talk from time to time, but we will exercise independent, bipartisan consensus judgment at the Commission.
I know that you've offered some ideas to Congress about the area of privacy legislation going forward. Tell me what you think would be helpful for the FTC in terms of improving the tools in your toolbox, if anything, and where you think this is headed here in Washington.
So one thing that we have called for, at least a majority of the Commission, is a do not track option for consumers. That option would be run not by the government, as do not call is, but by the companies themselves. There has been a lot of support. There's an entity called the Digital Advertising Alliance that represents 90% of all advertisers on the internet. And so the question isn't will there be do not track, but when it will be and what it will encompass. There's also another entity, the World Wide Web Consortium, that's writing standards for this. And so we hope there will be, by the end of the year, a real meaningful do not track option for consumers who, again, should have choice and control over their data. And that do not track option should also include limits on collection of information.
You've got a lot more going on, just privacy at the FTC. Let me ask you quickly about health care.
Yes.
What are your concerns about the Affordable Care Act? If it were struck down by the Supreme Court, what is that going to mean for competition, and what is it going to mean for you?
Well, I think at our agency, all of the commissioners believe that the more you can infuse competition into healthcare markets, not always an easy thing to do, the better off consumers will be. They'll have more choice. They'll have lower costs, and so we have been working on that in a variety of fronts, stopping what we call pay-for-delay pharmaceutical settlements, bringing actions against anti-competitive hospital mergers, letting pro-competitive deals go through when we see them in the healthcare sector. And as to the Affordable Care Act, I certainly hope it's upheld. But either way, we will stay involved in healthcare issues. It's 18% of the GDP in the United States. That is both that's unsustainable and it is unacceptable.